world, welcome. My name is Luann Pygott and it is Sunday evening here in Southwest Florida. So I am going to do a little ministry live for you today and speak about kind of a continuation of what I've been talking about. So we have been talking about mostly at the beginning of the year, this year, about weapons that God has given us. And I spoke about your words and changing your words. I've spoken about singing being a weapon. I have spoken about prayer being a weapon. I've spoken about God's word being a weapon. So, and there are more weapons. I'm sure there are more weapons, but right now we're going to take a little, interruption here. And I'm going to talk about what we need to do other than we're not just accumulating weapons. Yes, we need to accumulate all the weapons that we can, but that's not all. We're just not gathering stuff to hold. So what I am calling this live tonight, I'm calling it On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. Now, I am sure you've heard this before, and I'm going to give you a definition of some of these. On your mark, now this is a lot of times where they use this, on your mark, get set, go, or ready, set, go. They use this a lot of times for racing, for runners, and this is what on your mark means. It's your starting place. Wherever you are, it's your starting place. And so basically it means get to your lane or to your spot. So if they say to you, on your mark, that means you go to your spot. Go to your starting spot. And then, of course, go, when they get to go, means you take off. And you go. So then in between, on your mark and go, is get set. Okay, what is that? That's kind of what I'm going to talk to you tonight about, is getting set. Now, what are we going to get set for? We're getting set for running our spiritual race, or fighting our spiritual wars, or fighting for our spiritual lives. Whatever it is we are faced with. We need to be on our mark wherever your starting spot is, and we're going to go, but first we got to get set. And that is what we're doing with our weapons. We're getting set with them. So let me read you the definition of getting set. When they say get set, that means get to your starting position. Now, how is this different than get on your mark? Get on your mark means get on your spot. Get set means get to your starting position. So in other words, it doesn't mean the spot you're standing on. It means your body's position. And I believe in our spiritual life, it can mean our spirit condition. So when they say on your mark, get set, go, when they say get set, if you're talking about running, this was a definition I saw somebody give for this online. I thought it was really good. So what it says, if you're in a race, you're in a running race, it says get set was the signal to switch your position from a low crouch. I mean, when you got on your mark, you just crouched down. From a low crouch with your fingers on the ground at the mark, because that's how you started, low crouch, fingers on the ground at the mark. Then when they said get set, you would change to a raised, rear in the air, pitched forward stoop. The second position made runners poised to spring off the mark at the word go, because their weight got transferred forward and everything was balanced basically on the toes and fingers. So you weren't just ready to run because you were at the starting spot. You were physically ready. So basically, this was on your mark. This is get set. Okay, so that is what I'm talking about. Now, when I thought of this, and originally thought of this definition, though I think we can apply spiritually, my original thought to apply this to was dance, because I actually took some informal dance lessons several years ago. Actually, a lady in the church I go to, I don't think she's there anymore, but she was at the time. She had a dance studio and she taught dance, and we did like a free dance class if anybody wanted to learn some ballroom dancing. And so I did that, and there was a tip that she gave that I found was more helpful in dancing than any other tip, any other thing, anything at all that she gave. This was the most helpful thing in being effective in dancing, and actually made it easier, but not at first. So at first, it was a little harder at first because your muscles aren't used to this. And so until you get your muscles in shape a little bit, it's a little harder. But when you get your muscles toned in that certain position, and then you dance, is so much easier than dancing the wrong way. So Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? What is the position, do you think? Okay, so then God said to me, as I was thinking about this, God, this relates to dance, and I'm still going to talk about that. But God said to me, basketball. And I'm like, all right, God, you're kidding me, right? 2 weeks ago, he had me talk about football, of which I know almost nothing. I know less about basketball. I really don't watch basketball. I know it's like football. Oh, there goes my light. It's like football in that you run a ball back and forth and you have a goal and you have players. But he said, no. More people are probably going to understand basketball than know dancing. So tell them about basketball. I might as well tell you about building rockets. I know as much about that as I do about basketball. But here we go. This is what so I just looked it up. This is what I found out about it. Basketball is played on the fingertips and balls of your feet. That's the position I'm talking about, is the balls of your feet. If you are not dancing on the balls of your feet, you are dancing like a slug. You need to be on the balls of your feet. And I want to relate to that position spiritually. I want you to think about being on the balls of your feet spiritually. That is the difference of on your mark and get set. On your mark is you're laying back on your heels. Get set is you're getting on the balls of your feet. Now, why do you want to do that? It says in basketball, everything you do involves correct footwork. We often think of foot speed in basketball, but in reality, it's more about starting and stopping and changing direction. You should start with your weight on the balls of your feet. Let me tell you a little bit now about volleyball. Volleyball, I actually understand a little bit more about volleyball. I was never on any kind of a team, but we used to play volleyball in PE when I was in school. We started in the 6th grade. Okay, in the 6th grade, I was 10. 10. They started us playing volleyball on a full-size adult net. I could do nothing. I was a puny little scrawny thing. I couldn't hit the ball over the net. And so at first I'm like, I hate this. I hate this because I couldn't do anything. But I discovered that once I got to high school, oh, shock of all shocks, I could hit the ball over the net finally. Why? I was just bigger. But I learned one thing, and we used to play it in the youth group at church all the time. That's when we played it the most, is at youth gatherings. I learned one thing. If you're just sitting there, not paying attention, there goes the ball. You're not going to hit it. You're too slow. I don't care if you are fast. If you wait till you see the ball at you to move, even if you hit it, you're not going to be able to hit it in the right direction. It's going to go crazy. You're not going to be able to get it over the net. You're just not going to be able to do it. So you not only have to be watching it with your eyes, you got to be on the balls of your feet. You can't be like this. You got to be up on the balls of your feet if you're going to play a sport. In volleyball. So here's what I read about volleyball. The ready position in volleyball is a general positioning of the body that enables a player to be physically prepared and in good position to react to an upcoming play. You can read this. The ready position in your spiritual life is the general positioning of your spirit that enables you to be spiritually prepared and in a good position to react to an upcoming attack. This is the same thing. In a proper volleyball ready position, the player's weight is balanced forward, which will help a player gain momentum and to react more quickly to an incoming ball. A player who is set up in a proper ready position before any given play will automatically have an advantage because he'll be physically prepared to react and to get that incoming ball. Let me read it this way. A person who is set up in the proper ready position before any given attack on their spirit from the enemy will automatically have an advantage because he will be spiritually prepared to react to an attack. It's the same thing. You just have to do it in your spirit and not your body. The player's weight, back to volleyball, should be evenly distributed on where? The balls of his feet. His weight should not be on his heels because this will slow down his reaction time. He wants to surge forward, not fall backward. If you are on your heels, you are a dead weight. And when you see the ball coming, you have to move first up onto the balls of your feet and then hit the ball. If you're already on the balls of your feet, you're not only already in position, you're not wasting those few seconds to get there. Your momentum and your weight and everything is forward. Then I read this about Taekwondo. Have I ever taken Taekwondo? No, Taekwondo. It's a martial art. There's all kinds of martial arts, but listen to what an instructor said about Taekwondo. You have no balance whatsoever on the heels of your feet. So you can say spiritually, you have no balance whatsoever if you're just sitting back. Back to Taekwondo. So therefore, you must learn to keep the weight on the balls of your feet. Whenever you step or change stance, try to keep the weight in the front part of the foot. Rocking back onto the heels means you are vulnerable and open to attack. This is why you cannot just sit back spiritually and rest on the balls, on the heels rather, of your feet, because you are open to attack. Now, we're always somewhat open to attack, but you are more vulnerable if you're just sitting back. But if you're up and ready to attack back, you're not going to be as vulnerable. A tip when free sparring is to watch when your partner is flat-footed and off balance and use that instant to attack them. Okay, now we're going to get to dance. In dance, this is a dance instructor that said this. This is what this dance instructor said. In dance, being like forward, like this, what I'm talking about, is called using your center. To find your center, you stand with your feet together, you're straight back, your shoulders down, your stomach pulled in. Are you doing this now? Your body weight should be mostly, guess where? On and over the balls of your feet. Imagine a string pulling from the top of your head. Keeping your weight over the balls of your feet allows for easier transfer of weight from one foot to the other. If you aren't on the balls of your feet when you're dancing, you're just like dancing like clunk, clunk, clunk. It's so much harder. And if you're on the balls of your feet, it's almost like tippy-toeing, and you're lighter on your feet because you're not dragging your whole body weight with your feet because you've got your body weight lifted like this. And it's the same spiritually. You're not having to drag a kind of sleeping spirit, a dormant. You're not dragging something dormant. You're up, you're awake, you're alert, and you are ready. You're ready. You're ready. It makes a huge difference. All right, let me find out where I was. A good exercise. Okay, I thought this was really interesting. A good exercise to see if you're in the right position for dance. Stand with your weight over your heels, in other words, the wrong way. Then have somebody else gently push you from the front. Just gently push you. You will have to take a step back to catch yourself from falling backward. Then repeat it again, only this time you stand with your weight on the balls of your feet and have that somebody gently push you again. They cannot easily push you off balance. This is where we need to be spiritually. Forward, 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 moving forward. Don't lag back because you're going to be easily pushed back off balance. But if you're forward and somebody comes at you, they have to push a whole lot more of your weight when you're forward. And you're like more like a stern statue that way. And your weight is going to be so much harder to shift because there's so much further back to go. Someone cannot easily push you off balance. Such a small shift in weight placement makes a huge difference and will make you lighter on your feet. Now, that was talking about dance. All of this is talking about how we need to be ready for whatever comes at us in life, or whatever God needs us to do. You need to be in a ready position. I thought about a couple of other things. If you've ever seen this, if you've ever been to a rodeo, I have not ever been to a rodeo. I've seen them on TV. But if you've ever watched the people ride the bulls, and if they show you sometimes a little behind the scenes part where the bull is in the pen, they have that bull pinned in there so tight so they can't move. And then they put the cowboy, or whoever he is, they put him on top of the bull. If that bull, sometimes they try to buck in that stall. If they can at all. Sometimes they got people holding them to try to keep them from doing it ahead of time. But that bull is ready. I mean, he's ready. You never see a rodeo where they open the gate of that stall and the bull kind of saunters out, takes a deep breath, stretches. I gotta get moving here. I got this thing on my back. All right, let's see if I can start getting this thing off. Have you ever seen that? Oh, why? He wants that off his back. now. And he wants it off the back before he was out of the stall. He just can't move. But I'm telling you, as soon as they open that stall gate, that bull, his first step is a buck. It arches his back to get that thing off his back as quick as he can. I'm telling you, he is ready. He is not on his heels. Like, all right, come on, open the gate. Let me out here. No, he's like pushing. Come on, open this gate. Let me get this thing. Let me get rid of this thing. That's what we need to be like before we ever have anything on our back. Before we ever have any attack coming, we need to be ready. And I thought of another one about this, would be a horse race. Again, I've never seen a horse race like a live one. But if you've ever watched a horse race, I've seen them on TV. Those horses, when they put them all in these little cages, not a cage, but whatever, the starting gate, and they're closed, and then they ring the bell and they open the gates all at once, and the horses, what do? Da, 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 da. No, they don't. They shoot out of the gate like a rocket. Now, if you've ever seen a horse kind of default at the gate where they don't do that, and once in a while you get one that either lags, doesn't, like they don't jump the first second, you know what happens to them? Yeah, they lose. They lose. Why? They aren't ready. They weren't ready. They just missed the first step. They lose so much ground. So much ground because they're not ready to jump, and they know it's going to happen because they've been practicing it. They know that bell's going to ring, they know that gate's going to open, and they know they got to be ready, but sometimes they just miss it. But what happens? They lose so much ground. We don't want to be losing ground like that spiritually. We don't want to lose ground. We want to be ready. We want to be just like the dancer, the basketball player, the volleyball player, the tennis player, the taekwondo, martial arts person, the bull, the horse. You need to be ready to go, and you need to be ready to go right now. With all these weapons I've been talking about that God's giving you, you need to have it in your hand, which spiritually means you need to have it in your spirit. So let me read you some verses. Hebrews 12:1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight." Okay, you can't be dragging weights with you. You're going to lose ground. "And sin, which clings so closely, and let us run." So we're back to the first one I was talking about, which was running. We're relating our spiritual life to running. "Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." Isaiah 40:31 says, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength." If you think I don't have enough strength to do this, the Lord will give you the strength. "They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Matthew 24:13. It's talking about endurance. We need to have spiritual endurance, but he who endures to the end, not just a little while, but to the end, will be saved. Psalm 18:29 says, "For by you," meaning God, "for by you I can run through a troop." See, we can do this. We can, because we're doing it with the power of God. We're not doing it in our own power. "For by you, God, I can run through a troop, and by my God, I can leap over a wall." Take that with a spiritual connotation. Psalm 119:32 says, "I will not merely walk, but run the way of your commandments." 1 Corinthians 9:24-27 says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize." What is your starting position? On the balls of your feet, ready to go. That's your starting position. That's how you'll run. That's the ones that want to win. That's how they're running. They're not like, is it time yet? No, they're like, they're ready. They're ready. So when you're dancing, you don't wait till the music starts to get in position. You get in position before. Have you ever watched like dancing competitions? They go out on the floor and they're up on their toes. They're ready. The music even started. They're ready. I don't know that much about sports, but I imagine in basketball, before they blow the whistle or will throw the ball in the air, whatever they do to start, I don't think the players are just sitting back like this, waiting for the ball to move. Are they? Aren't they like, okay, I'm ready. I don't know where the ball's going, don't know where it's coming. I'm ready. That's how you should be in volleyball too. I don't know where you're going to hit it. I don't know if it's going to come to me. I'm not going to come to them, but I'm ready. You got to be ready. You got to be like this. You got to be kind of bouncy. You got to be kind of moving. I'm not a sporty person, but still I even know this. You got to be ready. Where's it going? Where's it coming? I'm ready. You got to be ready before the ball moves. You got to already be ready before it starts. And then when the ball moves, you don't have time to get ready then. That's why I'm saying we need to be ready now. Spiritually, we need to have our weapons ready before any attack comes. If an attack is already happening, just go ahead and get ready now. Don't lose any more ground. You can gain it. It's going to be more effort, but you can still do it. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. You know they do that with the Olympics. You know they do that with sports. You know they do that in the military. Dance, everything. Anybody who's competing and wants to win, they go into strict training. We need to be are you putting yourself into strict training? Spiritually strict training? If you are not, you're not going to be ready. You need to be ready to fight and put yourself into strict training. They do it to get, and this is talking about people in physical sports. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. That's another person that needs to be a boxer. They really need to be forward, don't they? If you can take a dancer who is on their heels and push them and they'll fall back, how much quicker are you going to push over a boxer? They're hitting hard. If you're on the back on the balls of your feet, you're already halfway back. You're already halfway over. You got to be forward. I didn't look up boxing, but I'm guaranteeing you need to be forward. You're going back because that's where they're hitting you. And that's even talking about this. It says, no, I strike a blow to my body. What is that talking about is I bring myself into self-discipline. Even if my body doesn't like it. I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. In other words, I bring myself into line and I make my physical flesh, I make it my slave, I make it do what is right. 1 Corinthians 16:13 says, be alert and on your guard, stand firm in your faith. Notice it doesn't just say stand in your faith. It says stand firm. And according to all this stuff I've been telling you, the only way to stand firm is to be forward and ready to move. 1 Peter 3:15, always be prepared to make a defense. Be prepared. This is what it's telling you about, to be prepared. To make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Luke 21:34-36. But watch yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down. You don't want to weigh yourself down. You're not going to be able to move and attack if you're weighed down. Don't be weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and cares of this life, and that day come upon you suddenly like a trap. See, if you are weighed down and you are not ready to go, this is talking about the day of the Lord returning, but it could be any day that you're needing to be ready spiritually. It's going to come upon you and you're not going to be ready. But stay awake at all times, that means spiritually, praying that you may have strength to escape all these things that are going to take place and to stand before the Son of Man. Now, I'm going to sing a couple of songs here. Actually, there's three I've kind of put together. One of them I had almost forgotten, and this is another one like that I did, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that I had a hard time finding this exact one. When I was looking for that one called Holy, and I found 8,000 named Holy. This one is called Brave. Came out in 2005, which I'm thinking, well, this is a newer song. Do you think that's almost 20 years ago? It's almost 20 years ago. But it's 2005. It's called Brave, and it's the one by Nicole Nordeman. And they played it frequently at that time, and I really liked it. And I looked up Brave, and I forgot who sang it. But I looked up Brave and found all kinds of songs about Brave, and it was not, nope. I want this one. And I finally found it. I just had to get the right person who sang it. And once I found the right one, I found the song. And I have to kind of just play the chords of it because it's not real easy and I had a hard time finding the music. But then I took a couple of songs from the old, what they call the old Redback hymnal from the church I grew up in. that are really old hymns, and just one of them's just a chorus, and I kind of put them all in the same key so I can play them together. And I pray that these will bless you. And the song Brave, this is just what we need to be: ready to spring forward, ready to fight, ready to do what God has called us to do. We need to be brave. I pray these bless you. The gate is wide, the road is paved in moderation. The crowd is kind and quick to pull you in. Welcome to the middle ground. It's safe and sound, and until now, it's where I've been. 'Cause it's been fear that ties me down to everything, but it's been love, your love, that cuts the strings. So long, status quo, I think I just let go. You make me want to be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me want to be brave, brave. I am small, and I speak when I'm spoken to, but I am willing to risk it all. I say your name, just your name, and I'm ready to jump, even ready to fall. Why did I take this vow of compromise? Why did I try to keep it all inside? So long, status quo, I think I just let go. You make me want to be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me want to be brave, brave, brave. I've never known a fire that didn't begin with a flame, and every storm will start with just a drop of rain. But if you believe in me, that changes everything. So long, I'm gone. So long, status quo, I think I just let go. You make me want to be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me want to be brave, brave, brave. You must fight, be brave against all evil. Never run, nor even lag behind. If you would win for God and the right, just keep on the firing line. You must fight, be brave against all evil. Never run, nor even lag behind. If you would win for God and the right, just keep on the firing line. You must fight, be brave against all evil. Never run, nor even lag behind. If you would win for God and the right, just keep on the firing line. just like a tree that's planted by the waters. Keep on the firing line. So long, status quo. I think I just let go. You make me want to be brave. I want to be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me want to be brave, brave, brave. 1 Peter 5:8 says, stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him. That means on the balls of your feet, ready to go. And be strong in your faith. Luke 21:19 says, stand firm and you will win life. And then there's one more I have from Nehemiah 4:17. Now, you know, in the book of Nehemiah, God told Nehemiah, or Nehemiah wanted to go rebuild the walls of Jerusalem that had fallen down. And when they went to do it, there was an enemy that wanted to stop them from doing what God called them to do. And I find this so interesting that what Nehemiah did with them, and this is where we need to be and what we need to be doing in our lives spiritually. Nehemiah 4:17 says, each labored, this is each person working and building the wall, each labored on the work with one hand and held his weapon with the other. Work with one hand. Hold your weapon with the other. Work. Be doing God's work. Doing God's work, hold your weapon with the other. That's what being ready is. You don't just have like, where to go? Oh, no, where's my weapon? Have it in your hand. Be on the balls of your feet. On your mark. Get set. You got to be at get set, not just on your mark. This is on your mark. This is get set. You got to be a get set, because when he says go, you want the advantage to be ready to go. Be ready to go this week. Till next week, may you be blessed. Good night.